Well, the Summer House Season 10 reunion is officially over, and somehow Part 3 left us with even more questions than answers. What was supposed to be a reunion ended up feeling like an interrogation as Wes's story started falling apart. Amanda struggled to explain herself yet again, and the cast realized they may never get the closure they were looking for. By the end of the night, friendships were shattered, Kyle was in tears, Jessie was definitely in tears, Ciara was heartbroken and just tired, and Bravo dropped one final surprise that could completely change what happens with Summer House next, so let's get into it. So, yesterday was the Summer House reunion finale, and honestly, the biggest takeaway is that Amanda and Wes still have a lot to answer for. The episode picked up after Ciara got off the call with Wes's alleged secret girlfriend, and the cast returned to the stage one final time. During the break, cameras caught Bailey and Amanda chatting. Bailey said that she's worried about Amanda, but Amanda brushed it off, explaining that Wes has reassured her and made her feel secure in their relationship. Once everyone was back, Andy got right into the tough questions. He asked Amanda and Wes when their relationship actually started and whether anything happened between them while they were filming this season. Both firmly denied having any physical affair during the summer, even though viewers watched them become increasingly close on camera. They actually maintained that their relationship didn't begin until early 2026, despite months of speculation and clues suggesting otherwise. At one point, they briefly acknowledged an emotional connection, only to walk it back moments after and insist that it was actually never a romantic connection. Kyle then added another layer to the story. Apparently, someone connected to Barstool contacted him and claimed that Amanda and West had been involved since 2025 and that people shouldn't buy into the timeline they're presenting now. Amanda and West denied this, but they admitted that if rumors hadn't already been spreading, they probably wouldn't have come forward yet. That revelation says a lot. It suggests their public statement wasn't necessarily about honesty. It may have been about getting ahead of the story everyone already knew. And that's when things started to unravel, when Ciara and Kyle revealed that they had been speaking with Mija, the woman Wes had reportedly been seeing. While Wes tried to downplay their relationship, Kyle and Ciara had already learned so much about the timeline. According to them, Wes had been sending Mija flowers for Valentine's Day and telling her he loved her, all after claiming he had already discussed seeing other people. And as Wes attempted to explain himself, his timeline just kept changing, dates didn't seem to match up, and it became obvious that different people had been told different versions of the story, with Amanda also admitting that she hadn't heard some of this information before, and you could see the mood shift immediately. At that point, everyone looked exhausted. Jessie became emotional, Kyle was frustrated. The entire cast seemed disappointed with what they were hearing. What stood out the most was that both Amanda and West kept apologizing, but their apologies just didn't land with anyone. They were saying all the right things, but the emotion behind them just never really came through. One of the biggest surprises for me of the night was Kyle. He repeatedly expressed concern for Amanda and questioned what Wes's long-term plan actually is. Kyle argued that Amanda has already lost friendships because of this relationship and wondered whether Wes truly understands the impact of his actions. And whether you agree with Kyle or not, and whether you like him or not, it was clear that he genuinely seemed worried for her, and honestly Wes didn't have many convincing answers. Then another uncomfortable detail came out. Apparently West and Kyle had been texting about Kyle and Amanda's private relationship struggles while Amanda and West were spending time together in Miami, and that revelation left a lot of people questioning just how deep the betrayal really goes. Meanwhile, the cast wasn't letting Amanda off the hook either. They pointed out that she had been posting West frequently on social media while appearing largely unconcerned about how any of this might affect her relationship with Ciara. Even Andy eventually challenged her directly. He asked how she felt about hurting a friend who had supported her through difficult times and encouraged her repeatedly during her own relationship struggles. Ciara was visibly emotional listening to this conversation, and Amanda did apologize, but once again, the delivery just felt detached, which only seemed to make the situation worse. And this led to one of Ciara's strongest moments of the reunion. She argued that this relationship felt less like a love story and more like Wes's way of getting back at her. She also admitted that watching the season back has been incredibly painful because the friendship that she thought she had with Amanda now feels completely unrecognizable. Then Jesse became emotional again. He cried during the whole episode, and more than anything, he seemed heartbroken watching Ciara struggle. He also made a point that many viewers probably agree with, is that after hearing all of the explanations, he still doesn't feel any closer to understanding what happened. And honestly, that's exactly how this reunion felt. Instead of closure, it felt like the end of a friend group. Now, Wes did attempt another apology after hearing Jesse speak, but his delivery remained so flat that Andy actually had to ask him if he had taken any beta blockers, and Wes confirmed that he had. And I guess that provided some explanation for his behavior, but I don't think it can erase all of your emotional responses. So mostly I think that they just didn't care that much. Then Andy asked the question everyone was waiting for, which is if the relationship was worth it. And Amanda couldn't really answer because I guess it's an early stage relationship. And then he had a follow up asking if they were in love, and again, neither of them could give a clear response. However, it was revealed that Wes had previously told Jesse he believes he loves Amanda. The only thing they seemed certain about was that they are committed currently to each other and are apparently in a fully exclusive relationship, but given Wes's dating history, I'm not gonna hold my breath. And after another break, the cast members privately discussed how unusual it was to leave the reunion with so few answers and even more questions. Kyle even tried speaking with West one on one, but the conversation just didn't go very far. And then Lindsay stepped in and said exactly what many viewers probably were thinking, which is that we didn't learn anything new. There were no major revelations, no satisfying explanation, no real accountability, and just more confusion. And as the reunion wrapped up, everyone shared their final thoughts. Kyle was surprisingly gracious yet again. Ciara looked emotionally drained and just done with this whole thing, and honestly, the entire cast seemed ready for the night to be over, but Bravo wasn't done yet. The network revealed a surprise bonus episode airing next week that will follow the fallout from this reunion, and we will apparently see Amanda learn some new information about Wes and what he has been saying after the reunion, and Wes will be chatting with Kyle, and he'll be telling him that he's been in love with Amanda for a very long time. And finally, Mija, the girl that Wes has been dating, will sit down with Ciara on camera. And this announcement raised a much bigger question, I think, about the future of the show. A cast shakeup has already been rumored because this was season 10, and after everything that happened this season, it feels like a major change could be coming. There have also been reports that Ciara gave production an ultimatum involving West, although nothing has been officially confirmed. And if Wes and Amanda stay together, cameras will probably want to follow that story. But if they break up, things can get even more complicated. Can Amanda and Ciara realistically share a house in the summer again? Can that friendship ever recover? Right now, it feels hard to imagine. And then there is Amanda's future on the show itself, with her marriage being over and her being a cast member of In the City. What role does she play moving forward on Summer House? Meanwhile, Kyle is one of the original faces of Summer House, so his place feels much more secure. And I don't know if Kyle and Amanda will both be on the show if Amanda is in a relationship with Wes. And whatever Bravo decides, this series is clearly at a crossroads. Some reality shows, I think, reach a point where the friendships kind of become too damaged to keep the original formula working for much longer. And I think, hopefully Summer House isn't there yet, but after this reunion, it definitely feels like a pivotal moment. But overall, part 3 felt a little anticlimactic for me, which is probably why Bravo felt the need to film a follow-up episode, which it's worth noting that they have done this before in other seasons. Fingers crossed that this follow-up episode finally gives us some real answers, because the reunion just disappointed. Let me know what you think about Bravo's surprise, and where do you think that this show goes from here? And I'll see you back here next week for one final Summer House recap.